Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Strong Draws. My name is Brett Strong, and today I am working on my original character named Elizabeth. So, I'll get a little bit into her backstory and whatnot, and kind of the story that I'm working on. It will be a 6-issue miniseries, but just to kind of get some of the stuff out of the way, kind of the programs and tools I'm using is working in Photoshop CC to do all my penciling. Later we will be jumping into Manga Studio 4EX to do all the inking. And so today doing the video is a little bit different than usual. Instead of starting with a pre-existing sketch that I scanned into the computer and worked off of, actually started it all and did it all from scratch in here. And as you can see, when I initially start out with a pose or sketch, it really doesn't take me all that long. It's just a very rough idea to get down the pose that I want. So, kind of like, I mean, if you have any questions on how the anatomy works or how I kind of think about or go about putting my characters together, feel free to ask in the comments below. Again, like I say every time, these videos are going pretty quick. I take a very long video and try to compress it down as close to 20 minutes as possible. This one goes a little bit over. I'd like to keep them down to 15, but if I go any faster, it really gets kind of dizzying. So this drawing, I think the total time took me about three and a half hours, somewhere in that neighborhood. And so it got all compressed down to about 24, it looks like 24, 25 minutes. So it's going very quick. So if you, again, have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. So, again, before I talk about Liz, there is something else I would like to mention. I didn't. Well, I'm putting this one out today because I've been trying to do these videos at least once a week, every Sunday. So check back with me on it on that. But for the past couple weeks, the past couple weeks before last Sunday, my last video, I had missed a couple weeks because I was busy trying to get my Power Rangers fan comic done, which is finally finished and up on my Facebook page. If you would like to check it out, the link is in the description below. And I have to say, for anybody in here or whoever is watching this, if you have seen it already or and have liked, shared, commented, or even just looked at it, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I mean, it really means a lot to me. The reaction it has gotten on the in the online world, the online community, has been really quite amazing. It's gone a little bit above and beyond what I had expected, I guess. It's one of those things where you hope. I mean, I think as artists, we all put this stuff out there and hope that it takes off and that we get the attention and kind of that we want from it. And I think more often than not, that doesn't really happen. You get a bit of a reaction usually, but not kind of the reaction you're kind of hoping for a lot of the time. And this time, I guess I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but this one it really kind of took off in a big bad way, and in a kind of overwhelming kind of situation. I guess it's really kind of been such a positive and amazing thing to watch go on. So, and for something I've created, it's just really cool. And I want to again, if you're watching this and you've read it, commented, shared, liked, thank you so much. It means the world to me. And then also kind of a cool thing that happened in relations to the Power Rangers comic last night, as I was working on this actually, um, I got a notification that on my page that I'm gonna probably butcher his name. So if he ever does see this, I'm really sorry. But Kurgan Manahan. I'm really sorry. I know I'm butchering that last name. Um, he actually shared and liked my book, which for you who don't know, Kurgan played Goldar on the original Power Rangers show, and then he also played another character later on, and I'm sorry I don't know that character. I stopped watching after the In Space run, which he might even been in that. But I don't remember the other character, but I do know he played Goldar, which is, again, one of my favorite characters from that original show, and so it was pretty damn cool to get Goldar's stamp of approval on not only the comic but my work. He had some very nice things to say, and I really appreciate him helping to spread that. So, again, if you haven't seen it, would like to see it, go ahead. The link is in the description, and the links in the description box below. But anyway, again, so this is Elizabeth. Um, as you'll see, and as I pencil, there's parts of this that's going to look very, very loose, and there's parts of it that's going to be relatively tight pencils. As I've said, and I've kept saying, and I have said in several videos that I've done before, is I'm trying to get to a point where the artwork doesn't look quite so lifeless and or stiff and posed. So there's going to be parts where I leave loose for interpretation while inking, while there's other parts that I'll tighten up just to make sure that I get it right. And sorry guys, I don't know why she's just staring at us here. I must have been doing something else. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. But anyway, try to keep it loose and less, and trying to make them have a little more life to them, and not look so posed and stiff. So again, some of it's going to be very, very loose. Some of it's going to be very tight. For instance, like her face is almost a finished rendering drawing, because I think faces are obviously very, very important. Gotta make sure you get those right, and I don't want to get into the inking and kind of struggle with it, because here's the reason I don't want to do it in the inking process, is because the reason I still pencil in Photoshop as opposed to Manga Studio is the version of Manga Studio I have right now, which is the Manga Studio 4EX. There's kind of two reasons. The pencil tool I don't really like, and it doesn't actually, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it doesn't really look or feel like pencil to me at all. And two, it doesn't have a kneaded eraser, kind of like what you see me doing here, where I can lightly erase and then draw over top of it. Because again, as I've said in other videos, I'm really trying to keep this process closer to my traditional drawing, which is, when I'm drawing up pencil paper with pencil and paper, where instead of using the undo button quite as much as I have used to, which I still do from time to time, I still use it, but just trying not to use it as much. Trying to keep it as close to that process as possible, because that's what I'm used to, and it's what I've done for the past how many years, and I don't know, I think you get better, yeah, as I was saying in the last video, I think I get better results, and because I'm a little bit more precious with it, to an extent. So, if I know I have to redraw something rather than just transform or moving around, it makes me pay a little more attention and make sure it gets done right the first time around, hopefully. But so that's why I still basically stick to Photoshop penciling right now, because the number one, the pencil tool I think looks amazing. At least I downloaded some from, I think, DeviantArt. I'm not even sure. I should look that up and give a shout out to whoever created the Photoshop brushes for me, or not specifically, but they created them and I downloaded them. They're really great brushes. But yeah, so it's the pencil tool and the eraser. I've been looking into, and I've heard a lot of good things about Manga Studio 5 and their pencil tool, and they do have a kneaded eraser in that version of the program. So I'm looking at possibly upgrading to Manga Studio 5 just so I can keep it all in one program. Then I can use Photoshop for coloring still, but I don't know, I kind of... There's things about Photoshop CC that I really like that I kind of put off buying because I didn't know if it was really going to make all that big a difference until my computer decided that you kind of have to upgrade. So but mainly like I like the functionality of, I know all the quick keys, and now with Photoshop CC, like if you want to zoom, like if you're drawing and you want to zoom in, if you just hold Z, you can click and drag and zoom in, let go of Z, and you're still on your brush tool. You don't have to hit B again to switch back to your pencil tool, which I really like. It seems like a small thing, and it is, but it just really makes a big difference to me. So I don't know. I don't know if I even want to drop the money for a new version of Manga Studio when mine works really, really well. Which here we are. We are now in Manga Studio. I changed the drawing to blue line, and that I just do because it's easier to differentiate between what's done, what's not done. And blue's a little bit easier on my eyes, I guess. I don't know. I kind of like the color of the blue, the way it looks too. So, yep, just kind of working on the inks. Again, this is kind of the new way I've been working to make it kind of look like microns. I've said this before. I got a .15 magic marker tool and just kind of go in and get all the structure line in, and later I will add contours and line weights and shadows and all that good stuff. So with this story and this character, kind of what I'm looking to do, because I'm in the middle of writing it. Um, like I said, it's going to be a 6-issue miniseries, so 120 pages probably, or a graphic novel. So I don't know if I'm going to put them out in 6 direct issues or one long graphic novel one shot kind of thing. But it will, even if I do that, it will be in 6 chapters. So I am writing it, and kind of the two things I don't want to give away too much of the story right now because it's in pretty early development. Like I said, I got the outline done, and as I get to writing it, I have a feeling things will change here and there. So, and plus, I just kind of want to keep it a little close to the vest for the moment. I will kind of tell you guys more and more as I move along in the process. But what I wanted to accomplish was kind of use this character to say what I wanted to say about certain things in our world, I guess. I mean, it's a bit of a superhero. It's a futuristic, dystopian kind of thing, and I don't try to get too preachy. It's a lot of fun. It's a cool little story. Everybody I have ran the premise by has been very, very um, positive in their reaction to it. Like I even most of the time I'll either tell them kind of the premise or one certain point of the story that I am really excited about, and they always have, more often than not, I get a reaction like, "Whoa," which I think is pretty damn cool, and so I will, like I said, I'll let you guys in on a little bit more as the story, as the process goes on. But so I kind of wanted to just kind of get my own views out there. The story itself could be seen as controversial, I guess, on certain levels, which kind of I'm okay with. That's kind of the point, kind of where the idea of the story came from was um, me wanting to get out some of the frustrations I see with things around me every single day, and just kind of express myself in all my you know thoughts and feelings into one book. And so, and also I wanted to, so I started off with the idea that I wanted this female lead strong character. But I wanted to see if I could do something different as opposed to, I guess, it's mainstream superhero comics mostly. I mean, the indie guys don't really seem to have this, have this too much, but some do, some don't. Kind of just depends on who you read. I wanted to kind of try and break the stereotype of the quote unquote superhero female whatever, like the big breasted, skinny waist, big hips, half naked warrior that's going into battle in a bikini kind of thing. Which I'm an old school comics fan. I understand where it comes from. And I'm not even necessarily complaining about those stories or the way those characters look or so on and so forth. But I just wanted to try something different, really. So I made her, obviously, she's a warrior and she's trained, so she's very fit, but she's not necessarily, you know, overly skinny, overly fat. She doesn't have, as you can see, doesn't have like really big breasts overall, and so it just, and like she actually wears armor that doesn't, she's 90% covered. All that's pretty much exposed is her head and face and hair. But as you can, I don't know. I kind of also tried to have my cake and eat it too, to an extent where the costume that, or the uniform, whatever her armor that she's wearing, kind of hints at that plunge neckline and midriff with actually not actually showing anything. So I thought it was a cool. I think this design I came up with was pretty cool, and the character, as you'll see in the story, she's not. There's parts of the story that are very sexual and very grown up, and but it's not. I'm trying not to make it exploitative as much as it's just part of the story and kind of the overall thing. Because again, I'm trying to create a female character that's not quite so one-dimensional. And again, I'm not saying that there's not characters out there that aren't, or that a lot of female characters are, or anything like that. But I'm trying to make, just trying something different, I guess. I don't get to read a lot of comics, so maybe there's characters out there that I'm not aware of. If there is, I'd love to know about it. If you guys want to let me know in the comments below. But just kind of, I guess, not so much trying to reinvent it, but do a different take on it, and kind of my views and opinions on things, I guess. So again, the story kind of again takes place in the future, and she's what's known as a parson, and she's been trained since basically since birth to, well, she's been trained since birth in martial arts and technology, science, religion, and magic. The story kind of has a little bit of everything, kind of an amalgamation of everything I love and kind of wanted to see in one story. So, because, and isn't that why we create comics, is to do that? Create our own stories so that we can put everything we love into one big pot and just kind of put it out in the world and hope everybody else likes it. But she's known as a parson, and she's been again trained to fight this inevitable war that's coming, and in the story has already come and gone and been fought, and you kind of learn about all of what she went through, what she goes through, and again, I don't want to give away too much, but again, it has the potential to be pretty controversial. But even from the reaction I've been getting from the different people I've been telling, kind of story points here and there too, seem to be real excited for it. So I'm excited to share it with you guys. It's going to be quite a while before any of it's actually out. I got some other projects to finish up before I can actually get to starting this, but I am starting to do breakdowns and layouts, and then later on story. So, and that's another thing that's really taken me a while. So I'm still trying to figure out what my writing process is, because with the writing, I don't really do that often, and I've never done it in this capacity where it's 6 issues. I have written a couple, well, like the Power Rangers thing. I didn't really write that so much as I had an idea. I mean, it's only 8 pages, so I was like, I know I want these elements to happen. How can I? And then I broke it down as to this what needs to happen on page 1 to establish. This is what needs to happen on page 2. This is what needs to happen on page 3, so on and so forth. And as far as dialogue and stuff, I just kind of made it up as I went, which I don't want to do for an actual comic I'm looking to print. For a fan comic or mini comic, I don't think it's a terrible thing. Um, I use mini comics and fan comics to kind of just hone my skills and practice, and you know, while this stuff I want to be a good story as a with good artwork, not good artwork with an okay story, because I think stories probably just as important, if not more so, in some respects than the artwork in comics. The artwork will grab people's attention and hopefully get them to look at it. The story is actually what's going to keep them there and keep them coming back. So I mean, I think the '90s and the world of the '90s and comics kind of really prove that. So so again, that's kind of what's taking me a little bit longer. Is I'm trying to figure out my writing process on this. Like I did a brief outline, a brief breakdown of what I wanted to happen in each issue, and then I did a kind of and that was literally just like kind of like what I was saying with the Power Rangers thing. Is like I want 6 issues. So to get to 6, here's what needs to happen in the first issue. Here's what needs to happen in the second issue, third issue, fourth issue, fifth issue. And then I started breaking it down to bullet points. Like, well, here's where I want it to start. Here's where I want it to end. How do we get there? And what are the high points of each issue? And then from there, I went and I wrote basically an outline. As I just got, and I did it again, issue to issues. I started breaking it down even further from the bullet points, and kind of even wrote a little bit of dialogue and some of the voiceover and all this stuff. And and that's kind of where I've run into a bit of a roadblock because I'm not really sure where to go from here. Is like I don't want, I don't have it broken down as to page 1, panel 1 kind of script, and I don't know if I can. And every time I try to do that, it's hard for me to visualize how that's going to work. And so I'm thinking about start doing breakdowns as far as visual layouts, and then going back and writing based on panel 1 that I had drawn, and then revise the story from there and even the visuals from there. So again, I don't know how that's really what's going to work. I'm going to have to kind of Bambi walk my way through this, and just stumble and fall and try and figure out what is my best process. So it'll be coming along hopefully again next year. You can kind of look for this. I will be doing more and more artwork and showing you guys more and more as it comes along, as it's heading down the pipe. So yeah, looks like we have about 2 minutes left. So here I'm just adding in again shadows, and a little bit of cross hatching. I don't, as I've been working, I've been trying to get a little more simplified with my artwork. Not so much weird stuff, just more, not so much cross hatching and stuff like that. I've really kind of grown out of that, I think, to an extent. So we'll see. In every story, every character kind of lends itself to be drawn a little bit differently than the last. So with Elizabeth and the story I've been working on, this little more simplified field looks, or this little the more simplified look kind of feels right for what I've been trying to do with it. So, and still I haven't decided whether that comic I'm going to do is going to be black and white or color. So, well, I'll see. We'll see. We'll see what kind of, like I said, I'll give you guys more details as it comes down the pipeline there as I get working on it. So we're about to wrap up. I'm just going to put in a quick background here. So, again, thanks for watching, guys. If you want to check out the Power Rangers comic or any more of my work, feel free to check out the links below to my Facebook and Deviant page. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter, is where I also am going to be updating a lot with Elizabeth here. So, again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the description below. If there's anybody you'd like to see me draw, leave them down there below. I'm going to be trying to do these every week. I have another one lined up for Sunday. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you on Sunday. Have a good one. Bye.